Hey guys, welcome to Own Your Shit with Jen Carrasco. And like every episode, please rate, review, like, and share. It's the only way to get this out there and get every entrepreneur on board knowing what the hell that they need to do. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about owning our own hustle in business and what that means per se. So it's going to be a solo individual podcast today, but I really feel like you guys are going to get a lot out of this today. So what is the actual real deal with owning a business and being an entrepreneur, right? We're all lumped up in these crazy individual bunch of people. We are an entire group that actually volunteers to walk off the plank, knowing that we can possibly drown and not be able to swim up to the surface, right? Most of us raise our hand that that's what we like in life, right? We like the drama. It does not matter that there could be, sharks in there, flesh-eating fish, whatever it may be. We tend to do this constantly. It does not faze us. It does not, I shouldn't say it doesn't faze us. It does faze us. But we choose to keep on doing it. It's almost like we're trying to find that buried treasure eventually, no matter how much we have to endure to get there. So you could be far off in a better lifestyle, like many of my friends combined, that end up having a great day-to-day job. But honestly, I am the one that chose to have the nervous breakdown when I did, right? Possibly plummeting to my death, which has happened in my life numerous of times. And that's honestly where this podcast came about. So everybody's running around Facebook, they're bragging about their tax refunds and, what are we doing as entrepreneurs? We're squeezing our eyebrows together, just like crunching our faces, figuring out what is the best strategy to not have to pay taxes and actually possibly be able to come out even, right? So the 24 years in business for myself, I've had a fair share of stuff you don't think is going to happen until it does. I have made stuff, I have sold stuff, I have loved stuff, lost stuff, gone to court about stuff, stayed up for years worrying about stuff, didn't worry about stuff, tried again not to worry about the stuff, and then it just kept coming back to me. So I've aced the stuff, if that makes sense. I have bombed the stuff. I have celebrated the stuff. Anyway, it can go on and on and on and on. So I have definitely succeeded over this period of time. I have definitely come to a point in my life that it's a point that I want to give back to others. I want to give back to entrepreneurs. I want to give back the time that it's going to take to build your baby and what you have, because let me tell you, it takes a long time to get there if you don't know what you're doing. So I'm going to go over a little bit of business that I think is going to highly benefit you. Okay. So if you don't know my background, I'm not going to go into full depth background, but I have filed bankruptcy twice in my life. I've had to restart my company 3 times. And to top that off, I have been through 2 divorces during that whole time. So now I sit with a skincare online, electrical company. We're launching solar division. I'm an Apex executive coach, and I actually am an EOS implementer now. And so I'm here to tell you that you can get what you want. You can make this shit happen. You can find the buried treasure. But I'm just going to give you some tidbits that are really, really going to help you to get there. And I'm going to start off first with routines and structure and grounding. I think that is highly, highly important. I'm not going to get in the basis of doing a structure of a company right now or an accountability chart. I'm going to give you routines and structure of grounding from day to day to get yourself to that next level. So one of my favorite things about being an entrepreneur, and the one reasons I wanted to be one, is the flexibility and the freedom it brings, right? Well, it doesn't. So I lied to myself. But you know what occupies that freedom sometimes is definitely the flexibility. So, a lot of times when I would think that I should have freedom and go do something, I felt the guilt. I felt the overwhelmment. Then came the procrastination of shit that I needed to get done, right? The lack of motivation, the lack of progress, the lack of boundaries that I set for myself, feeling undisciplined, feeling inadequate. Honestly, shall I go on? Because I can. But I operated honestly from decades of guilt, a guilt cycle that I would repeat over and over, kind of like a self-sabotage myself with the feelings of guilt that I needed to be in the business and making money at all times. So I love the freedom to craft my own schedule, but then I struggled immensely with the urge to take a day of rest for myself, right? Many of us do that. I love the flexibility of setting my own deadlines, but usually lack the discipline on getting them done when I needed to, and then ended up having to hustle my ass to get it done at the last minute. So, one of my biggest takeaways I can tell you with being self-employed was that eventually I learned a complete opposite of being an entrepreneur, right? In order to take full advantage of my flexibility and to truly feel the freedom and the entrepreneurship, I needed to set boundaries for myself. I needed a damn schedule. So, what the fuck does my schedule look like? And freedom is definitely ironic when we think of entrepreneurs. But I want to scale back a little bit. The reason why I was able to understand this was because of my bodybuilding. The reason why it honed in on me of why I'm not getting some shit done and why I'm lacking what I'm supposed to be doing is because I didn't have that structure set going forward. And I'll go into more detail with that in the future because we're going to go in the foundation of your company. But it was the fact that bodybuilding made me structured. I had to structure my time to eat, to prep my food, to work out, to fit time in with my family, fit time in with my son, and fit time in with my business. So this is where it all came down. I established habits, set routines, structures, and plans. So let's go in a little bit more into detail. I want to define what's important to you. The best structures are the ones that flow from the things that are most important to you. Like bodybuilding was to me, right? I wanted to get into shape. That was the way I had to do it. That was most important for me personally. So begin clarifying the vision for your business and life along with your core values to create your core values of what you think someone wants to hear. So do not create them with the vision of what does somebody want to hear that I'm going to say. I don't want you to fake it. I want you to own your shit. And I want you to have those core values that function for you. But before we really get into the core values, I want you to do this for me. This is going to be your homework. I want you to jot this down on a piece of paper. I want you to write down the perfect day. What is your perfect day? Then I want you to keep this perfect day front and center to make sure that everything you do supports this and moves your business and your life in the right direction of this course. Okay. So write down a perfect day. It could be you wake up at a certain time, you meditate, you do this, you do that, right? I'm going to go into my perfect day in just a minute. So in order to maximize your days to the absolute fullest potential with all of your energy and focus, I suggest you figure this out. What parts of the day are best for certain activities, for your workouts, writing, etc.? What energizes you versus depletes you? What gets you in your flow versus making you feel unmotivated and struggling? Use this perfect day exercise to help you figure out these things. Once you know this, you can ultimately craft a regular schedule for reoccurring activities such as strategic planning, a building workshop, meetings, client sessions, administrative works, tasks, lunch, blah, blah, workouts, family time, sex, right? That's huge. Okay, so once you know all of this, you can craft a regular schedule going forward. So let me go back to simple habits. Habits are the drivers that produce the type of positive change that you desire. I believe that your morning routine and the evening routine is the set for success, for some of the most powerful habits that you can actually build. So we do a thing called a G Code app, which I highly, highly recommend. And I love it. It's on dailygcode.com. And you can actually implement all of your habits in that, which I really like. It makes you accountable for working out. It makes you accountable for for things that you're grateful for and yada, yada, yada. I definitely do that. But a lot of times I tend to want to journal that more or less than put that in an app. But if you're someone who doesn't want to journal, I suggest popping in and doing that app. So I'm going to give you an example of my perfect day. So then that way you guys can do this. So this is your homework. Okay. This podcast is your homework of writing out what your perfect day is in your vision. So then that way we can start customizing your life to fit that perfect life. Okay. So my typical day is I go to bed and wake up at a set time every day. This is absolutely crucial for me. My sleep schedule is the most important part of my routine. If this gets messed up, everything else in my life does. This is the only one thing that is actually the most difficult for me to keep. Okay. The reason why is my schedule is crazy. I am traveling. I am doing a lot of different things and it gets thrown off weekly. But when it is working, my days are rockstar days. I keep the schedule even for the weekends and even for vacations because it's actually better for me to stay on track. Now, not everybody's like this, but I am. I have slow mornings. I need slow mornings for myself. I wake up at 6 a.m. and I give myself anywhere from an hour and a half to 3 hours. Okay. So what I do in that time is I either go into my family room where I will not get disturbed by anybody else. And I drink a cup of coffee and do my daily affirmations. That's when I do my journaling. I do my gratitude and I make my 5 to-dos that I must do that day. Then I will put away the dishes that are left out overnight. And then I will also get in a workout. Now, I get into the gym anywhere from 3 to 5 times a week, depending on my week schedule. And I will try to get in part of that cardio versus weightlifting. Okay. And it just depends on my schedule and how it goes for both. In the morning, while I am getting everything done that I want to, I listen to anything that makes me feel good in the morning. I listen to music, audio, motivation, whatever it may be. I do it all while I get my bed done, tidy my room, shower, get dressed. Now, my mornings are segregated for creative and tactfulness. The reason why: my brain is the clearest and the most creative in the morning. So I'm focused, I am motivated, and I am ready to get shit done. This is important. This is an important time for me because I make it reserved for business building. I make it reserved for activities, calls, meetings, my high priority clients. I make this my vision, my motivation, my masterminds, my mentoring, whatever it may be. The morning time is my time to shine. Okay. Now let's go over a client schedule. I have a very, very strict client schedule that protects my well-being and my personal time, along with my creating major efficiencies and processes for my planning, energy, and scheduling. And it goes on. I only take 4 to 5 clients a day, and I give a specific allowed time to meet with them. So I'm going to talk about when I'm in my clinic. Now, on those days, I am in my clinic from 12 to 6 o'clock, right? And then I usually will bow out to get something to eat in between that time. Now, when I'm mentoring business clients, my schedule is 7 in the morning to 11 a.m. Then from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., that's Jenn time. And I'll go into that a little bit more. But 1 to 4 p.m. is, again, my clients. So 7 to 11 a.m. is when I do all my virtual meets. I work about an hour to an hour and a half, depending on the needs of my clients. Then from 11 to 1, that is my time. I meditate, I walk, I do errands, I do anything that I need to get done. 1 to 4 is completing necessary follow-ups. So I will do follow-ups from my sessions, or I will work on future speaking events, masterminds, things like that. Now, I do have days that I do not have any clients, and those are my Fridays. The Fridays, I usually do a little bit of podcasting, but those are the days that if I choose to open up for clients, I will. But that is my days for continuing my strategic planning, my works, my articles, my marketing, my speaking gigs, any of that stuff. Now, fitness is huge for me. Fitness is number one. So one of my cherished things that I do for myself is to go to the gym and get a really, really good pump on. Okay. I personally love to do that with my boyfriend, my other half. I feel like that is a great time when we work out together. Then we are able to go to dinner and hang out after that and hang out at our local spot. So those are usually implemented definitely 2 days a week, and Sundays are set for my time with my boyfriend. Now let's talk about my bedtime ritual. So I am a habit builder and structure creator. As you can see, I'm your EOS implementer who does all the ground up work. That's just who I am. So one of the biggest things that I have learned was that success of my morning routine depends on the setup of my evening routine. So here's what I mean. In order to get up on time, I have to go to bed on time. In order to have a productive working environment and not get distracted the next day, I like to go to bed with a tidy house and a clean kitchen. I know that once I enter my living room floor, I tend to get sucked into the day-to-day work so much that everything that I need to do for my morning is out the door. I get completely distracted. So for me, that is huge. Now, I can go on and on about my daily schedule, but I'm not going to. I'm going to keep this short and sweet. Now, what I want you to do for homework this week until we meet again next week is I want you to write out that perfect day of what that looks like for you. Once that perfect day is carved out, I want you to start implementing this into your daily structure, the most of what you can do. I know sometimes you can't implement every single thing at first, but at least try maybe every week to every couple of weeks, you start adding in one more thing that needs to be done. That is my homework for you. And I hope that this helps you this week, you guys. And with that said, own your shit, make the shit happen, go after it. It is your dreams. It's your world. You get one chance. Do it. There's no better chance than now. So please rate, please review, please share. And with that said, you guys, make it a great day.